background. Joined by Shorecan once again as my co-caster. So let's get right into it here. Talk about the bands Behemoth, Warbeast, Moira, Parasite happening. Magnus in a Swiftblade, Midas in a Puppet Master. And then there's Tempest coming out. But BMG able to get their hands on a couple of carry picks here with that Swiftblade and Puppet Master to start things, though. Looks like DsBn's going for more of that AoE synergy instead. Their lineup.
I mean, yeah, Swiftblade and Puppet Master, I've actually seen DsBn pick it against my own team a couple times in a row, and they know how to play it really well, so I'm surprised that they gave both those heroes away. Maybe it's just to keep the Magnus and the Midas away from BMG, because they did do such a great job with them last game. But, you know, BMG's just like, okay, we're going to take a step back. We're just going to go, you know, secure the late game first of all. And then in this next banning phase, they can ban, you know, Clanks, you know, strong carries. So Clanks, Dark Lady, Soul Stealer, just to name a few.
Yeah.
But then again, the Tempest factor is always there. So that also provides quite a strong late game.
Yeah, sure does.
Whoa. Wait a second. Have we ever seen BMG pick up Pharaoh?
I'm trying to think here. No. This is not a typical
Quincy,
hero for
please.
them. Yeah. I mean, it is a Tempest stopper, so perhaps that's what they're ultimately thinking here. But yeah, it's not their typical hero.
But Andromeda was available, and Fusin plays that hero a lot as well.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Andromeda just got banned. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so they played it actually quite a bit. So you know, I'm on board with you. I wouldn't have think BMG as a Pharaoh running team, but I guess they have.
I'm assuming this was from a long time ago when maybe Cracker was playing middle.
Yeah.
With the Pharaoh, because, yeah.
Okay.
There we go. My guessing skills, man. Like, wow.
On point.
On point. All right, so we are seeing the bans here, though, and Fusin is banning Armadon and Valkyrie so far, so not the hard carries that I was earlier predicting, but still carries. Aha.
Yeah, there you go. Armadon ban, and that's a fun one. We saw these guys. You mentioned the Cersei, the Teltic playing it, but then also they ran that Armadon in that game as well. And that, you know, the new Armadon, the changes that he got are actually pretty significant, and perhaps some synergy there with Cersei on top of it. But that's to see it banned here is actually really intriguing. But I guess just making sure.
It's because they played it last time, and they with the Cersei carry.
Yeah.
They also had the Armadon on top of that, and Guifix did play it quite well, I would say. And I think, you know, the whole buff with the whole spine burst thing, I don't think it's about the autocast. At this point, I don't think you want it to autocast. I think you just want to manually click it because you want to hit the most people with it as you can every single time. So if it activates early, it might not help. But the true buff lies where his Armadillo actually just changes the damage that he needs to block with it to 150. That is 100 less damage than before. That's insane. So he's going to be like spining way more often than before.
And it all adds up as far as the damage goes.
Yeah.
Engineer. Again, these mind changes that happened, we've been seeing him here and there popping up. And it seems like the popular strategy, again, on the very few times, is to even use it to block camps, get the level 1 mines at the beginning.
What we were saying last game with the Emerald Warden.
True.
But he didn't do it. And let's see if he does it this time. But they also might just dual mid with those mines because it does so much damage.
It does. And it's AoE.
Like, oh, God. Like, if Magnus can get a double stun off and then double Spider Mine with a keg, oh, I can just see the pain.
Yeah.
Like, now, Magnus Engineer is a super strong lane. I would even say that you would skill the keg twice just to get a bit longer of a stun. Because 1.25 is really short. Like, you can see that with Rally level 1 stun as well. But then Spider Mines to max it out, because it does 400 damage. 1 mine. That... Wait, how much damage does Pyromancer's ulti do at level 1? It's 50 less damage than Pyromancer's ulti.
It's a 450. Yeah.
And you have 3 charges. And it's AoE.
That's funny. Yeah.
What, like,
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I think people are underestimating the potential because we even saw we saw him even ran into tri-lane. I remember that it was a tri versus a tri-lane, and whoever was playing they ended up going the keg and steep turret. They weren't touching the mines, and I'm just thinking to myself like, Do they not realize the change that happened here? I mean, especially in a try versus try lane, it seems like that's where it would really be powerful. So
Even if it's just for vision, just stick one down just to 175 damage. It's not nothing. It's just
yeah,
it's always going to do something, especially in a tri lane where every single bit of regen is so important because you need to keep an aggressive stance throughout the entire way, like when you're doing the tri lanes, because then otherwise you're not going to get any farm on your farming hero.
mm-hmm.
But
Well,
Solstice on BMG and Pharaoh.
yeah,
All right.
this is also not usually BMG. That I know for a fact. So, Corrupted Disciple to finish it off as a carry of choice. Interesting. We saw it in the hands of Imbaboy a couple of times this last weekend, actually, for a reason and ultimately their qualifying ways. So, seeing it here for Team DsBn and seeing how it works for them. Why do you think they went with the Corrupted, though?
They want to win early because they see all the cores being picked up by BMG.
Okay.
Corrupted Disciple is one of those heroes that's just going to stomp his lane, even versus a Swift Blade, because his W, of course, goes through it now, being physical and all. And then they have the Tempest for the push. Magnus pushes quite well as well with his E and then Midas to counter push. I mean, they're going very teamfight oriented, so if BMG can do a good job of just dodging, which I think that's going to be their strategy unless they see a clear kill, because they do enjoy fighting. They do enjoy being aggressive. I think BMG has, they just have the late game. That's all I can say about it. I'm not going to say which one has the better draft because they're different drafts. They're for different purposes.
Oh yeah.
If they were both building for team fight, then you could call one out for being the better one or countering the other. But this is just a complete. It all depends on how they execute it.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying there 100%. And I'm also really looking at this BMG lineup and who's playing what. And again, another case of this is interesting because Boxy's playing the Solstice. You got Root of Z on Pharaoh, actually, going Suicide. And Maki's on the Chipper, but is he going to be in a support Swift? What is going on here?
Okay, well, Mighty Marcus's Chipper is quite famous.
Yeah, you're right there. Okay. But support Swiftblade? What
I don't know. And maybe it's because they took last game in such a dominating fashion, but it looks like it's going to be a roaming Swiftblade with those boots picked up. I mean, who bought the wards?
Do they even have
Root of Z, I think, bought the ward. Yeah, they had 2 wards, actually. One on Swiftblade and one on
okay.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, still, what's going on?
Yeah.
Support Swiftblade?
Well, I'll say this. BMG, again, they still haven't qualified for DreamHack, and, to reiterate what's been saying now several times. And there's only one more qualifier left. There's been a lot of talk about these guys. Something's just not connecting. I wonder if this is them just making an ultimatum of, we're just going to do something different. We're just going completely different here with our strategy. We're going to really mix it up and try to see if now this works. Whether that's, with introducing a new player, maybe they just feel this is ultimately necessary, but I don't know. So maybe there's some logic there, but this is back-to-back games. We're going to see Root of Z as a Suicide now. A main support Fusin playing a hero that isn't usually a support in the first place. Such weird things going on.
Okay, so Pharaoh is going to get completely wrecked down here by Corrupt Disciple. Unless he manages to place his wall in a way that CD gets bounced back and then he doesn't drain as much damage as he would like to. But as you can see, look at this. Pharaoh's running away from a solo Corrupt Disciple. He's out of XP range right now. Okay, so the support Swiftblade is out harassing a Midas with an E.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you see the spin he already has.
Yeah, he already used it. I would really just... Okay, these lanes, though, Chipper with 2v1 middle generally has a pretty good time, especially versus an Engineer, because Engineer has really low range. But, my god, what is BMG doing? Couldn't they just give Fusin the Puppet Master last game and just have him support? Because I would say Puppet Master does quite well versus Midas just because he has decent enough damage to deal with him. But now, man, Boxy farming woods?
Yeah, that's
Solstice?
that's the craziest thing, I think, because again, this is a team that notorious for not running jungle when every other team was, and they kind of, obviously with the secondary support strat, and then even they were running the Legionnaire for quite a bit there in the World Finals and everything with Krake, but obviously no longer him being part of the team, and just jungle in general. They've never really ran a true jungler. I mean, this is not typical BMG, yet here they are running a jungle Solstice from the beginning. That's why I was really interested to see if it was actually going to be laning Solstice because of that reason alone, but nope, it is a jungle Solstice here, being played by Boxy. So again, they're good players, and they're like obviously top tier players. So you'd figure that they're going to be able to accomplish, running this in the end. But it is just so odd seeing it in their hands.
And also, Natsume is starting off with a medium camp, which I personally never do as Tempest, because you want to get that level 2, which you instantly get from a hard camp.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's pretty interesting in my opinion. He's also he's doing fine for now. Like he did block the medium camp though, so now he's gonna have to run to the easy camp or take the other medium camp. I don't know. Interesting plays right now. Let's see how people are doing on farm though. Puppet Master does have the same farm as CD right now, looks like. So at least there's that from the support Swiftblade.
Yeah, so I just love it. Yeah, he's running up to him and right-clicking him. He went boots first, so of course his mitigation goes. Midas is able to put in some pretty good auto attacks onto him, and knowing that Puppet's also nearby. In fact, Puppet now kind of boxing him out even. So yeah, the fact that Swiftblade's able to keep Midas out of experience range just seems a little odd. It seems like that shouldn't happen, but
that's mainly due to the Puppet Master being Puppet Master though, because he has the W and Q, which are just like such long disabled, like even at low levels. Here, 2.5 seconds on Puppeteer's hold, or Puppet Show. So if Celtic decides to get too close to Swiftblade, he's forced to attack a spinning Swiftblade.
Yeah. Caught that action there. I mean, that's just simply Chipper. He got caught out of position, and obviously a very powerful duo in the Engineer Magnus, as we keep reiterating. Chipper not an escape-heavy hero, so they were able to execute there and get the Bloodlust kill. So good news for Team DsBn. Killer for life here on the Magnus. He actually takes over the top GPM now as a result of that. Bottom lane, they are going to collapse on a Pharaoh right here. Corrupted Disciple chasing him down with that conduit of his. Putting in the auto attacks, has the electric tie, going to use it right there. Not enough for the kill just yet, though, on a Pharaoh. He's trying to go around, but Tempest is going to cut him off. Now tries to hero block him a little bit. Allow Corrupted to get a couple more auto attacks in, but Pharaoh's actually tanking it quite a bit himself with that shield. And he is still alive. The fact that he's lived this long, even if he dies in the end, I mean, he's distracting hardcore. Finally goes down.
And middle lane again. Panny roaming over with that. Or no, Celtic roaming over. What? As a level 2 Midas. Yeah. Okay. But, man, like, I think that was really a loss for Guifix on that Corrupt Disciple. He canceled his Corrupt Conduit kind of early because he ran an interesting way around the trees rather than through them. So he didn't have as much damage when he was attacking Pharaoh, and that ultimately caused him to survive way longer than necessary.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh has 95 GPM, but he is about to get lane control. And, okay, he's actually maxing Hellfire. I would have liked to see him max his Rocket, especially because Tempest is going to rotate over in a short while to start pushing, and then the Rocket just does so much to counter push. You can do it globally, and it's just, there's not much Tempest can do about it.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more difficult to push into is what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah, and in Hellfire, it's almost unnecessary, right? It's like, is there ever going to be an opportunity here at this point that is actually going to be using Hellfire for a kill? Not really, so.
Unless he does really well with the, with the levels, manages to stay the same level, have max Hellfire, and prevent Guifix from, using Corrupt Conduit. Very, very iffy odds in mid lane again.
Yep, caught that. Solstice comes in to assist right there. Even Swiftblade running over with the Ghost Marchers, or just Marchers, excuse me. Not Ghost Marchers yet, but Engineer, he did what he could, but obviously not nearly enough as they went first on a Chipper, so that was just good bait in that sense, and able to turn it in the end. Engineer, by the way, he's not going to mines. He actually has level 2 turret even. on top of the keg.
Turret does do the most damage when you compare keg and turret, but mines, please.
Mines. Yeah.
Mines, come on, man.
We talked about this. He wasn't listening.
Just like Berserker.
Clearly. Yeah, Panny. You know, Panny, I would have trusted him to do it too. God, he's feeling for us here.
Yeah, I mean, it just does
silly
so much
build.
damage, especially against a chipper who did not level his E. Like, come on. Who
Yeah,
needs slow when you have damage?
Well, and now I'm curious. Okay, he does actually level up the keg as well. So see, that I just don't get to see. He's going to combo right here with Magnus. So again, Chipper in a lot of trouble, and just like we've seen before, ultimate does fall. So to be fair, it's working. I mean, it's getting the kills in the end. So that's
at the moment.
True, at the moment.
At the moment, but
that scale though.
I mean, what's funnier than someone walking into a mine trap and just exploding?
Yeah.
Not much. And I mean, it also comes. You can like use the mines to ward the runes, for example, just to make sure that you have a bit of vision on it, and if someone takes it, you know who took it, and you know what rune is there, and it prevents you. It lets you not need a ward there. It kind of replaces the ward in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, mana is cheaper than gold.
Yeah, that's true. Solstice doing a triple stack camp right here. He's actually going to finish it off in the end. Swiftblade also has a triple stack camp. He's going to actually, okay, yeah, I was going to say he can't do that, but there's no creep over there. But chase down Midas once again. I mean, Swiftblade's level, I thought he was level 5. Never mind, he's level 3. Didn't look at that necessarily correctly, but anyways, he's level 3 right here, and actually is going to port to the bottom. Yeah, he's going to the bottom lane. See about trying something down here. Interesting synergy with Pharaoh and Swiftblade.
I mean, if he gets him in the mummy wall with the spinning Swiftblade, it's going to do quite a lot of damage, but it's because Pharaoh just reached level 6.
Okay.
So they're relying on that to bring him into range. But the stun is so short, so not sure if it's going to be enough. Like, Fusen is positioning himself quite far away, but here comes Tempest.
Yeah, Tempest from behind the Elemental Void. He knew that they were there. The Electric Tide comes out. Now they're stuck in the mummy walls together. And Pharaoh's ultimately going to end up falling right there. Swiftblade will as well. A double tap for Guifix. Very good heads up. But now Puppet Master and Chipper are here. Chainsaws are out. Hold on to Tempest. Will eventually get the kill. Showing to Corrupt the Disciple. In the meantime, the Rock Barrage on top of that. And Corrupt the Disciple will fall in the long run. So double tap for Baltazar is the BMG answer right there. And meanwhile, Solstice, he's trying to get away right here using the charge very defensively. The creep's not going to be enough with the tower damage. We'll eventually finish him off, and Panny gets credit for the kill on top of it all. So action really all over the place here.
Well, I mean, I would like to say that it was slightly in BMG's favor, but it really wasn't. Like, Puppet Master wasted a lot of time going to bottom to get those 2 kills, and did he even get both kills? No, he got both kills. Yeah, he did get both kills. But Chipper also moved, and those are the 2 like main heroes for this Hellborn team right now. They're the ones getting the most farm, I would almost say. Although Solstice is beating Chipper because of those early deaths. I mean, Solstice died as well. So in the end, I think it was way better for the Legion team. They didn't really have to rotate. They just did their thing in their lanes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the gold lead, they have a 1,200 gold lead right now, so obviously that's working for them. Puppet Master, he's even roaming towards the middle lane right here. Going to meet up with the team, but perhaps eventually just looking to make his way back to the top lane. As, going to run all the way up there. So he does have a homecoming stone, but choosing its best to instead run up there. And take that time. Oh, Boxy DCing. Yeah, he's back at the well, unfortunately, so that's a little, I wonder how long it took them to notice that, but he's missing a little bit of time.
Yep. He is going to go for the Insanitarius build, it looks like.
Okay.
Which I think is strong because they want something to hold on for them in the early game, and an Insanitarius just makes you super tanky even at low levels. Well, especially at low levels. Because you'll relatively, well, compared to other heroes, you'll have like 1,500 HP when others have 1,000, let's say. But, man, it keeps coming back to this draft from the Hellborn team. Like, their lanes didn't really make a whole lot of sense with the Pharaoh Suicide versus a Corrupted Disciple, and then, Fusen playing his support Swiftblade and then dying because of the nice ultimate from Abu incoming. coming in. So.
Well, it's just also, the support Swiftblade, he's level 3. I mean, this isn't your typical support that's like, okay, he's under level, but at least he's still providing a good stun and, doing something here, and wait till he gets his ultimate, it's going to be big. But a Swiftblade with an ultimate, Swift Slash is, I mean, that's going to be not good. He's not going to have any items to support the damage output from it. It really seems like, frankly, a useless support hero. This is not a good support option, is the very, I guess, simple way to put it. And you would think that would be obvious, but it's BMG chose to try here. I mean, when it comes to roaming and setting up kills, I guess if they were doing that, and maybe that was the goal, of course, to be able to work with that, but that hasn't been happening, though. So,
it's like, I don't know. It doesn't. Like you said, it doesn't make any sense at all because the main damage that's going to be coming out from him is a spin. And one thing you could perhaps see is that the Swift Slashes will cancel the Tempest ultimate through Shrunken, but they already have a Pharaoh for that, so yeah. And
again, knowing that they have the chance to even get Andromeda, like you're pointing out at that time, instead of the Pharaoh pickup when that happened.
I mean, Andromeda would be an amazing pick in this game because then they'd be able to save the Puppet Master if he gets out of position while split pushing, for example. Yeah. Like, they're trying to delay the game, and frankly, it's not working. Magnus has way too good of a start for this.
Yeah, and maybe a lot of it just comes down to BMG trying some fun stuff here, but knowing that their money is on the line every game, and sweeping a series even gets you a little bit of a bonus. And honestly, if I was BMG, I'd be playing with a little bit of pride, too, knowing what's been happening lately and how they've been on a downward spiral to an extent and coming up being the world champions and have been, not doing the best ever since. Hell, 0-1 here in this event on top of that. So, to each their own, though, as long as they come through with a victory. Really may not matter in the end. But, hey, who knows? But the game continues on as Boxy has reconnected. So, as far as how the game's shaping up, you mentioned Magnus is having a good time there in that middle lane, 355 gold per minute. He's working towards a portal key next. Corrupted Disciple also doing pretty well, but Puppet Master is up there. He's well on the way to an Assassin Shroud to follow up the Whispering Hell. But let's focus on Corrupted, going back to him real quickly. What do you think we should see on Corrupted Disciple here in this game?
I would really like to see the staff, so he can tank out all the damage that the Chipper and Solstice are going to be throwing at him. If he manages to survive that, it's going to be pretty dangerous. And talking about him, of course. Then, speak of the devil, he gets the kill at bottom lane with the with Penny, and that's the strength of Corrupt Disciple. If he manages to stay alive in a team fight with his Corrupt Conduit on someone, the person on the enemy team is not going to be doing any damage, and he's going to be doing extreme amounts of damage without any damage items, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Staff of the Master as well is that since it bounces, it reduces everybody's armor as well. And that can be a big deal, especially when thinking about a Chipper who actually only has 4.8 armor right now.
Yeah, not the most physical heavy team here on the Legion side, but it does add up. Everyone is in the long run going to be doing some kind of auto attacks. So.
Like even Midas, like the extra damage coming out from his transmute, of course.
Yeah.
That's physical damage.
That's true.
So that's going to be a big deal when it comes to reduced armor. I really see this game spiraling out of control for DsBn real quick. So I really think he should get a Staff of the Master.
Yeah.
That's just the item that speaks to me right now for him, because he already has the Energizer and the Steam Boots. He's well on his way for, to become a tanky hero, and that would just get him over the edge to just be a little bit stronger. Well, a lot stronger.
That point, so. Ooh, Ghost Marcher is just picked up by Tempest, by the way, on top of the Ring of Sorcery that he has.
Greedy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's incredibly greedy. If you spend 1k gold on Ghost Marchers, I've also had this thought with Parasite. You can spend that 1k gold on something else, for example. Like, when you're spiraling out of control like this, you want to keep that advantage up with an Astrolabe. Or if you really want to go greedy, then you go for a Portal Key. But Portal Key gives you a lot better positioning than a Ghost Marchers. And, I mean, to be honest, his farm is not the best. It's 280 GPM, but we know that Tempests are able to get 300 plus GPM in the woods, especially with that tower kill, and he also did get the first blood. Midas at bottom though. Trying mid now.
But middle lane, Chipper's in trouble. The energy field's securing it right there. Pops out the chainsaws, but level 4 Swiftblade again. What is he going to do? Not the most threatening, especially against all of that, and in the end they're fine. So easy kill coming out there for the Legion side.
Yeah, I mean, I think the threat of the TP is a lot scarier than Swiftblade himself.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh no, who's TPing? It might be a Puppet Master, and then, oh, it's Swiftblade. Never mind.
Level 4 Swiftblade.
Keep going.
Yeah. Do we care? Do we care? No, we don't.
No,
Okay, right.
no, definitely not. But they are going to go push the middle lane, even though they don't have an Astrolabe on the Tempest or a PK for, you know, that super clutch Godhole.
Yeah.
But at least BMG is doing a decent enough job at trying to split push. Decent, I mean, not the greatest. Because Midas. That's where Midas' strength also lies. He can counter push so easily.
Yeah. Oh, you see at the top lane, Assassin Shroud's being delivered to Puppet Master, but it's not here just yet, so he's not going to be able to get that set up, unfortunately.
Corrupt Disciple is nearby, but so BMG's they're thinking about going in. They're going to be patient for the Shroud, which is the better choice because then they can manage to burst down the Midas really easily.
Yeah.
And come on, if you have the Shroud, use it now.
I was going to say, I don't know why they're not trying right. Did they just think he's not pushing up or something? I guess that's possible, but that was a free kill. I mean, that was an absolutely free. In fact, it still might be. Yeah, he's still hanging around. Oh, that's a kill. Maybe. Yep, there we go.
No.
Oh, jeez. Just out of range now. Missing an opportunity.
He's still going.
And
he actually tried to cast it, and he missed it.
Oh.
He tried to cast it, but it got interrupted because of the fog, most likely.
Range right
Fog
there.
of War.
Bottom lane, though, Root of Z got picked off in the meantime, so the counter kill. And it is going to be a staff, by the way. He does get the glowstone on Corrupted Disciple.
Unless he goes for an icon.
No.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That would be a bad idea.
That would be a waste of time.
I mean, Panny's even well underway for his PK. After this tower, he's going to be super close. And
wow,
I think with that PK picked up, they can... they're just going to steamroll. Like, I have a feeling with a perfect Engineer ultimate, because it's so easy to place once you have a PK. Like, the Hellborn team is not going to be able to do much because a Puppet Master, he wants to stay out of the NG ulti, otherwise he gets completely screwed up. And then there's the Solstice, who can't even charge into there. He'll only have an ultimate left. I'd say Chipper is the only one who's unfazed about the NG ulti in terms of still being able to do things, but that's really not what you want.
That's true. You see Puppet Master stealing the Ancients on the Legion side. Only a single set here, so not necessarily the hugest steal in the world, but at least able to get some nice resources himself and take away, obviously, from Team DsBn in the meantime. And yeah, there's no vision up here, so even though they're right next to him, they have no clue. Ooh, double damager in here. We'll see if he spots that or not. It looks like it's going to run right to it. Yeah. Pick up
Breaky, we have some development on the Swiftblade situation. He has a punch dagger now.
Okay. Ghost Marchers are almost here.
And he got level 6.
Yeah, those Swift
forget about
Slashes
that.
doing work.
Doing work, man.
He doesn't even have crit. Like, that's the other thing, too. It's just like, at least if he had the crit, it's okay, he can maybe hit for like 100 or so damage, but it's just the Swift Slashes. It's going to be so minimal in terms of the output.
Let's cancel some Magnus Tempest ultimates. Woo.
Yeah, that's true. It is a mini stud. So there's the Tempest, the Magnus. If he happens to find somebody channeling something, then.
Ooh, Balthazar is doing a great job right now. Look at the Werebeast Enchanter that he has in the Legion Woods.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me. Oh yeah, I see it.
Next to the Revoid. Okay, that creep is super strong with that vision skill.
It's the vision thing, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
He's like the only guy that does this, I think. I know we've mentioned this before.
It's along the line. Well, it's really nice when the enemy are close by, but it has a limited range. And so you can't use it globally. You can't just sit him in base and then just spam it, because then it would be overpowered. Then everybody would be using it.
Yeah.
But when you're going for like the late game build, taking over a Werebeast Enchanter it's a pretty big deal. I mean, the entire woods right now is unsafe for the Legion because of that Werebeast.
Yeah. And it's hiding in the spot. Like, they're not going to guess that it's here. Like, so.
I mean, you might like catch a glimpse of it when you pass it, but you're like, what's this creep doing here?
Exactly. Not going to really think too much about it, if anything. But, yeah, no, love seeing the innovation like that, definitely. Again, I know we have thought about it before, and it seems like he's like the only one that maybe does it. But, top lane, we have possible initiation coming out right here. Farrell's leading the way. You see the Veiled Rod, the Assassin trying to ward. Rev is down off to the side. Engineer going to be open on off the bat, though. A couple of auto attacks later. He does fall, so no energy field. They also pick off Tempest right away. Midas going to get caught out. He barely survives. Magma's telling it up to Eruption. He's going to be jumping back in, but no, he couldn't really get in range. By the time he does, the damage was already done. Really doing little himself. They get the kill on a Corrupted, and now Magnus, it's his turn to fall. As, yes, he will, too, get picked off. So Midas, the only one to live, and he barely lived. On top of that, and nobody dies for Bad Monkey Gaming. So the initiation, that's just all what that came down to right there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think even if you draft a really weird draft, if you teamfight like that, it really doesn't matter. Like, that was so perfectly executed. Getting rid of that engineer is a really big deal, because as I said, he has the PK now. He has a PK. It's gonna be a huge deal in team fights, unless he gets bursted down immediately by a solo puppet. And then they're all turning around. They're like, oh, we gotta help engineer. And then in the meantime, Chipper goes on the Tempest, and Tempest was bursted down. And next we have the Solstice W actually can't illuminate. Yeah. Canceling the PK from Magnus. So.
I was I'm watching the replay right here, and I was actually wondering. I was like, why didn't he portal key in? But you're right. That's what it was. It was the Illuminati right there.
The Illuminati. And bottom lane.
Yeah, they're going to catch actually Corrupted Disciple right here again. He goes up. Magnus completely whiffs the stun. Goes through the uprights, and now he's trying to survive as he very likely may. In fact, they're going to turn it on to Pharaoh, looks like, with Tempest and Engineer collapsing. So there's the kill. He buys a barbed armor just before he dies, at least. But Engineer was trying to pick off Chipper, or at least stall him. But he regrets that right away as Chipper turns on himself. On Engineer and gets him killed. And now he's trying to hold his ground. The focus buffer's up. He doesn't have anyone coming in just yet for support. It looks like somebody's trying. Swiftblade as, yeah, it's that really big deal once again. Not really. Chipper, he's going to be held down with the Elemental. What, is it enough damage? It is the Lava Surge to finish it off. And here's that Swiftblade. Going to scare them off right here. Puppet Master, though. No, he's not going to chase. No point. Swiftblade still wants a kill, though. You can find somebody.
Man, leave him alone. He's a support Swiftblade.
Yeah. Okay. So nice turn there. At least.
Man. Yeah. I mean, they voted to concede. Like.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
They were really angry there when Make got that hat trick.
Yeah.
But wow. I mean, emotions running high. I understand it's frustrating to play with two ringers, but. Come on, like, it's been 21 minutes. You see this Hellborn draft.
Yeah, let's not give up too easy here.
Yeah. Of course, they don't have God Vision. They didn't know that they had an advantage before that team fight. Well, they probably did have an inkling of knowing how far ahead they were, but they didn't have the exact numbers. Had they just, stepped back for a second, made sure that they were organized before starting the push, they would have been able to do so much more.
Yeah. Oh, Puppet Master, he knows he's seen. The creeps aggroed him with the invis, so he was keeping on going. I was a little worried for him, but no, he turned around at the last second. He's going to be fine. He's an interesting build here, by the way. He went the Mighty Blade first, but now he has an Arcana. So I guess he feels the Shrunken Head not that necessary anymore. Chipper, in the meantime, getting picked off here in the middle lane. Swiftblade running over. Has those Swift Slashes. There we go! As jumps on a Midas, but he leaps away. Not the biggest steal once again. Engineer, in the meantime, the lockdown on a Chipper. Enough to get the kill right there. Solstice holding in the background. Hits at least a couple of heroes, I think, maybe Tempest. As Corrupted Disciple is eventually killed off by Puppet Master, and Tempest will fall shortly after. There's another vote to concede. We'll see if this one actually goes through or not. As Solstice, no, he's not going to be able to chase down Engineer unless the creep kills him. That would have been embarrassing. But Panny is going to make the escape here in the end. Maybe. Nope, never mind. Never mind. So
okay.
Yeah, you can just tell Team DsBn is just not really on the same page here now.
They're just not feeling it.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I feel bad for them that they had to use 2 ringers because, okay. Breaky, help me out.
Well, I mean, knowing Panny at least, but I honestly think it's more a troll if anything. They're kind of just trolling here and having fun with it. He's not actually seriously pissed, but there we go. They're disbanding. It's official. No. The last time we saw that, the day after, it was for the DreamHack qualifiers. They actually beat BMG in the first round of the tournament, so I'm not going to take that for what it is. Anyways, yeah, it is unfortunate because really, Team DsBn, they were up by like 5,000 gold at a point in experience, and it seemed like things. But that top fight, I mean, it really just came down to that, right? It's just that determined it, I guess. In the end.
Yeah, I just feel so awkward.
So
like
dirty.
BMG, it feels so like this. Yeah, like you said, it's dirty. It's disgusting. Like what happened there at the end? They had such a huge lead, and then I don't know, things weren't clicking for them.
They didn't. Baltazar was just having free farm for most of the game. I mean, he was constantly 100 GPM higher than anyone else, so there is that to factor. Although the rest of the team was still looking good for Team DsBn, but yeah, I mean, he was ahead for really most of that game. But BMG